Dun 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 dun! Part 5. Life itself. And we have the lovely Earth here! Chapter 16. The lovely but lonely planet. In this chapter, we actually talk about the Earth itself, and then we go ahead and go talk lots and lots and lots about the Earth. We talk about the world, and we talk about land. We talk about everything, including the atmosphere. Oh, and speaking about the atmosphere, that's about our next chapter, and our next chapter is pretty awesome too, because chapter 17 is awesome, but we're not there yet. In this lonely planet, we also have humans, and there's so much of things that seems to be going on throughout the whole entire world. I was speaking nonsense, wasn't I? Well, this part isn't nonsense. Chapter 17. Into the troposphere, which is here, 0 to 10 miles above ground. It's 62 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is exactly where we go. Then we go to the stratosphere, 11 to 31 miles, and this is where usually airplanes go. The temperature here is like minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait, what? And on the mesosphere, this is what happens. Yeah, it's like, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, to be honest. Mesosphere, 32 to 85 miles high, it's 5 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 184 degrees Fahrenheit too. And on the thermosphere, 86 to 372 miles, it's 184 degrees Fahrenheit to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. This is where the Kármán line is, which is considered the start of outer space. Oh yeah, the troposphere is where most clouds and hot air balloons are, and that's where they are. The mesosphere is usually where meteors burn up, and the thermosphere is where the satellite and auroras are usually there. The exosphere, this is where the exo base is. If you cross there, you're basically floating in space. It's from 601 to 10,000 kilometers tall, and it's around 3,650 degrees Fahrenheit in temperature. And this is where spaceships usually go. And yeah, we have just completed chapter 17. Let's at least a quick summary of it and like quick things about it. Now let's go to chapter 18. The bounding main. Now, what is this bounding main anyway? It's about oceans. It's actually telling us that the ocean is way better at all too. This ocean that we know space better than our own oceans, and that is probably a problem because if we're gonna explore space and we don't know our home planet that well, what is going to happen to us? If we're going to colonize other planets, what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen if we don't even know our own home planet? It's just something every other species probably knows their own home planet well, better than they know space. Well, it should be. It's like knowing somewhere else that's not your home country better than the home country you've lived in for your whole life. And that is just not right. And that is just not right. It's like the Japanese when they first opened their borders. They just went outside and they actually knew the US way better than Japan. And actually, turns out one of them did. That's a story for another time. Basically, now let's go to chapter 19. Chapter 19. Chapter 19. And it's called The Rise of Life. The Rise of Life. OMG, no. The Rise of Life. And so that is basically what this is starting with right now. In The Rise of Life, we actually start talking about the origins of life. We might not start with Darwin, but we are talking about stuff that is important, that will eventually become DNA, that will eventually become us. And we are the most important things in the whole entire wide world. And that is just weird and awesome at the same time. Hey, at least we found something. At least we found the same thing that actually helps us and stuff. Actually, we now learn about the origins of life, like the very first life forms. And we even find replication inside there, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Speaking of going on and on and on, let's talk about that in a different chapter, because next chapter we're going to be talking about chapter 20, the small world. And you know what small means. It means microbes. Oh shoot! It's those like little microbes. It's the bacteria. It's the viruses. It's the fungi. It's the bad yetis. It's the bad yeasts. No! We have to contain them somehow. With what? The immune system. The immune system is still kicking up in my age. I'm just kidding. Not all of them are bad, but these guys surely are. Viruses. They definitely are bad. And fungi. They are definitely bad. At least we got some clear targets. Boom, boom, boom. And basically, we actually talk about microbes in this whole episode too. We talk about microbes, we talk about everything. We talk about things that seems to be going on throughout the whole entire world. And it actually just seems so that what we're creating right now, it seems very infidential and very small compared to what's actually happening in there. Microbes are awesome, sure, but they're also deadly. And we have to remember that too. Which is why we have the immune system. And it's time for chapter 21. It's about life that goes on. Life goes on, and it's all to us. And yeah, basically, and life goes on. We also talk about fossils again, and then we actually go ahead and do lots of other things too. After we're talking about fossils, we go on and do lots and lots of more things too. After life goes on, we actually also talk we also talk about how life actually goes on, how we are so lucky to be alive right now, that we're at the best possible time to live, and that is just awesome too. And then and there is so much more I would like to say about this book too. Like, life goes on. It's talking about fossils and proof that life was going on for a while now, and that life will just keep going on. Maybe not infinitely, but it will go on in some way. And right now, if this video somehow makes it to the far future, hopefully you guys will enjoy it so much. And then in chapter 22, it's goodbye to all that. In chapter 22, goodbye to all that, it's where we also talk about life continues and lots and lots of things. Wait, hang on. Life continues so much too. It also talks about life going on. And that's basically what chapter 22 is. Goodbye to all that. GTAT. I guess I would say goodbye to all that, but that is still not the end. So we'll just go on through that chapter. And now let's start talking about chapter 23. The richness of being. For this one, we actually have to go talk a little bit about zest, because zest is a pretty important character trait too. But also being alive and just being here and also being existent, that's something. And it's not anything that anyone can do. It's just the same thing going on and on and on and on and on. The thing is, it's just for zest. And the only thing I kind of think of right now is that the zest is weird. You have to do something very awesomely. I mean, zest is awesome. I'll have to say that. But also being alive and just being here and being the existence. Isn't that the richness of actually being here? And then we arrive at chapter 24 about cells. In cells, we actually start talking about the cells themselves. We talk about the organelles, some of the ways that cells have been discovered, like Robert Hooke, and lots of other things too, like the cytoplasm, the Golgi complex, or also known as the Golgi apparatus, and the centriole, the centrosome, the lysosome, and the peroxisome. That is just some sort of thing that seems to be weird too. And then finally we go to Darwin. We'll talk about evolution, the theory of evolution, and the survival of the fittest, and it's just awesome, don't you think? We finally also talk about the stuff of life. And that is plain good, weird, and I don't really know what to say too. The stuff of life, we're talking about DNA, the reproductive systems, and the ways of reproduction, and the ways that we can actually do to go through the whole entire world. All I want to say right now is that this is a way that we live. Without this, we would probably never be alive. Also, the methods that were used to actually create this would be confidential. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I hope to see you guys in my next episode too. So until next time, stand out. Peace. Bye bye.